Hey everyone, and welcome to part 3 of our black tie video series where we're going to talk all things black tie. If you don't know what black tie is, it's the killer new feature inside of ZimmWriter's product roundup tool that creates these just incredible product roundups for your WordPress website for like literally pennies. Let me show you one of the black tie articles that we wrote. This was like 2 pennies, and the AI did everything. It made the image, it wrote all the content, it built all of these tables, did all of the analysis to find out that, like, for shoes, cushioning type, support level, and upper material are the factors to consider when you're shopping for these types of shoes for this particular purpose. I think these are women's running shoes. And then we have a full-blown review of each of the shoes down below, and it goes into more detail. And then we have some factors to consider at the bottom. All this was like 2 pennies. So incredible quality, very easy to do. For me, I'm recording from when I'm recording this right now, last week, I released the first 2 videos in this series. And the first video was just a high-level overview of the black tie mode, like what it is, how it generates these things. Second video did a more deeper dive. And now that it's been out for a week, people have been using it. I have another update tonight that's going to squash a couple bugs, add some improvements, and we have a brand new WordPress plugin that's completely free that you guys can use with this to do some amazing things. And there's some more goodies inside of this update. So we're going to cover this update in this video, and hopefully you'll get a lot out of it. So we'll talk all things black tie, all things ZimmWriter, and hopefully you'll have a great, and this is probably the last update for ZimmWriter I'll have, unless there's a bug or something before Christmas. So think of it as your Christmas present, all right? So let's kind of dive into this update, this black tie mode. If you're not familiar, again, you can go back and watch the previous 2 videos. The black tie mode is found in the AI Vault under Product Roundups. And if you weren't here for last time, you'll see this handy new thing where you can create profiles, which is actually very powerful. You can create profiles for your different sites and stuff, and then just load all your settings when you restart ZimmWriter or come back in here. If you have 100 or 1,000 different sites you're using, you could just have profiles for each one. So that's really cool. So enabling the black tie mode, all you got to do is come in here and just check this box. That's all you got to do to enable the black tie mode. Also, you'll have to go into this advanced settings and click this copy black tie CSS to clipboard. And then you'll have to get this CSS code that's now in your clipboard onto your website. Most themes for WordPress websites will have this customize button when you're logged in. And all you do is you come down here, scroll down, click on it. Additional CSS, and then if this is empty, you can just paste it in here. But if it's not, you'll have to scroll down and paste it in. And again, looking like this is going to be theme dependent. Your theme could squish this a little bit, or it could make it a lot wider. So you might have to go into your customize, into your CSS, and start asking, take some screenshots, start asking ChatGPT, why is mine looking a little bit different? And it can hopefully diagnose the issue for you. But that's all you need to do to enable black tie mode. Now, there's a couple issues. One individual brought to my attention, how do we make this Amazon Terms of Service compliant? Because right now, if this is all you do, all right, what ZimmWriter will do, what you've configured ZimmWriter to do, is to download these images from Amazon. And this is an AI image right here. But download these images from Amazon and then upload it to your WordPress site. And that's technically not Terms of Service compliant. All right. And if you're scaling these sites and you're making like 10 grand or 20 grand a month, you don't want that. You don't want to risk that being taken away from you for non-compliance. So the best way to be compliant or be more compliant is to use their API, use Amazon's API to fetch all the data. Now, before this update, you would go into this, Amazon override, and this by default was disabled. So by default, ZimmWriter would just download those images to your website. You wouldn't be compliant. You could use this AFFI and AWP smart code thing, but then it wouldn't be in this black tie mode. So if you want to use black tie, you want this cool looking output, and you want to be Terms of Service compliant, then you had 2 options. All right. So the first option was to use an AFFI.ai. You go to that site, AFFI.ai. I think I have affiliate links down below if you want to do that. You're not going to need to technically after I show you this. You go to their site, you buy the plugin, you install it on your site, you add your Amazon API keys and all this stuff. And then ZimmWriter will use that to use the Amazon API to pull all of these images. All right. Now, some people also have an AAWP plugin, a license to that. and it does the same exact thing from a ZimmWriter black tie perspective. It will use Amazon's API to pull those images and then pop them right in here. And as far as the images go, you'll be terms of service compliant. Problem with both of those, and problem for me, and I built a lot of stuff in ZimmWriter because I want to use it. The reason why, let me take a step back. The reason why this product Roundup is getting all these updates is because I want to use it now. I'm actually jealous of my friend. My friend is making, I can't tell, I'm not allowed to tell how much he's making. He's making more than I'm making with ZimmWriter. I made ZimmWriter. He's making more than I'm making on my subscriptions with ZimmWriter. He's making more as an affiliate making ZimmWriter sites, if that tells you anything. He's making these Amazon sites. He has like 400 or 500 now, and he's crushing it. And I'm like, what am I doing? I made ZimmWriter. Why am I not also crushing it with affiliate sites? I need to start doing that. And so I've spent the past 2 weeks nailing down my process so I can spin these sites up 2 a week. I could do more than 2 a week, but right now I just have, I have ZimmWriter running in a cloud Windows VPS, and I think based on, I'm putting about 600 articles on each site, and it's taken about 40 hours for ZimmWriter to write one batch of 600 articles with all the settings I've configured and stuff like that. So I could scale it to more Windows VPSs, but then I would just be focused entirely on that and not the other endeavors I have. So I figured if I can just make 2 affiliate sites a week, I'll be happy. And I've dialed everything in. I think these are high quality. I think I have some good niches picked out. This should be good. So anyways, I did all these updates because I want to attack affiliate marketing now. And I'm like, I don't want to buy like 10 licenses for AFFI. I don't want to buy 10 licenses for AWP. So let's just make our own plugin that does this. So I made a plugin, a ZimmWriter plugin, and I think I'm going to make the plugin available to download. If you go to my secret training, I think I'll link it right around here. And it's going to be like, it'll be called something stupid like ZimmWriter Amazon image plugin or something like that. But you download it and you install it. It's just a normal plugin. And you can view all the source code if you want to. It doesn't matter. There's nothing proprietary in there. But it is as is, okay? So if it craps up your WordPress site, hey, that's not my problem. But I've been running it. I've been using it to build 2 affiliate sites so far. I have one site completely built, another one that is making articles right now. And it's working great, working phenomenally. And there's no usage limit with it. You can install it on 1 million sites if you want to, for all I care. All right, so this is what you do. You install the plugin, you'll add your access key, your secret key in your affiliate tag. Now, ideally, it says up here, you should put this in your WP config file. All right, you put that in your WP config. That way, if your site does get hacked, this is not compromised. And then if you've never edited your WP config file, you don't put it right at the bottom. There's like a special string. Ask ChatGPT. I forget what it's called, but there's a comment, a line that's a comment in your WP config, and it needs to go above that comment. So that's how you should probably do it, as opposed to putting the stuff in here. It will mask all this stuff and store it in the WP options table in your database, but obviously it's going to be more secure if it's in your WP config file. You'll need your affiliate tag too. Now, I want to tell you something. The affiliate tag that you put in here is simply used for accessing the Amazon API. All right. And by the way, you need an Amazon, let's take a step back. You need an Amazon API to even use this plugin. To use any of these plugins, technically, you need an Amazon API key. And so to use ZimmWriter, AWP, AFFI. Now, these 2 plugins do have the ability for you to borrow their API key, but it's severely restricted in how many you can generate. I think like the AFFI plugin only allows you to do 300 API calls like a month or something like that. It's incredibly limited. So I don't recommend going that route. So if you don't have an Amazon API, how do you be Amazon compliant? If that's a concern of yours, maybe that's not a concern of yours. It's a concern of mine because I want to scale this. I want to make 50 grand a month doing this, but I don't want that taken away from me because Amazon knocks on my door and says, hey, you're downloading images, you're not compliant, we're not going to pay you. So I don't want to be in that situation. So what can you do? Because if you use black tie mode without the Amazon API, this is disabled, ZimmWriter will download those images. It will download these images from Amazon, then upload them to your server, and it will look pretty, but you won't be compliant. Again, maybe that's not a concern for you, but if it is, what can you do? First thing you can do is try to meet their requirements. Now, unfortunately, Amazon has tweaked everything, And so in the past, you needed 3 sales in 180 days. What is that? Half a year, 6 months. So if you make 3 sales, not to yourself, your family, or friends, but if you make 3 sales, you would get the API. Now it's, and now it applies, like they've changed the rules for everybody, even me. Okay. So you have to have 30 sales in the past 30 days, I believe. And that's a lot. If you're just starting out, that's a lot of sales. And I think I don't know if they give you a grace period. Like if you drop back down a month below 30 sales, do you still have API access? I don't know, but that's a lot. So how do you get to that point and be compliant? I think what you could do is you could do what I did with this site here. And so I made a course for free it's linked down below, on how to make this site from scratch. And these are all real recipes and stuff like that. But for each of these recipes, let's like pick this one right here. For each of these recipes, I have a link in it to a category, right, on Amazon for kitchen food processor for this one. I think there's 500 links I have to different types of categories. So I said, I'm making a cooking blog here, and I want to insert, as someone's making this ham salad, for instance, I want to insert a link to a product that they might want to buy. So let's just read what it says. Stir everything together until combined. Make sure all those lovely ingredients are evenly distributed. For more consistent results, you could use a kitchen food processor to blend everything. So people are making this recipe and they're like, I could upgrade to a better kitchen food processor. They're in the heat of the moment. They're using the processor. They're like, oh man, my device, or however I'm doing it, is outdated. I need to upgrade. They click on this link, and it takes you to this Amazon category page for kitchen food processors. It should. I don't know why it's not loading. There we go. And then if they click on one of these links, I get like a percentage of the sales. So this is a great way, if you're not Amazon compliant, to start aiming towards that, right? Trying to become Amazon compliant. Now, unfortunately, this one, I'm not getting a lot of clicks for this particular site because every article only has one single link to that Amazon category page. So there's a single link on this one. We go over here to sweet savory pork medallions. There's like a single link down here as another food processor. Let's see if we can get a different link. What do we have down here? Commercial food, a lot of food processors apparently. So that's one way to do it, but I would inject more links into your article than just one or two. But that's how you become Amazon compliant. You have to just start making some sales. It will take time. So pick your poison. You figure out what you want to do. If you want to risk it and use the images yourself, you could be setting yourself up for some trouble down the road, or you want to do what I just showed you and build your links to become compliant. But let's assume that you do have an Amazon API key. So inside of here, you'll fill this stuff out. Now, I want to be clear about something. This affiliate tag that you put in here is required to connect to the Amazon API. But this ZimmWriter plugin is not going to use it to attach to any of your stuff in here. It's not going to attach it to the image. It's not going to attach it to the buttons. The affiliate link that's going to be attached to this stuff is going to be determined from one of two places. You can set a global one. Let's go to Scraping Surgeon, and let's pick up Amazon. So you can set it in here. All right, your Amazon affiliate code. And in general, you don't need a different affiliate code for each site you have. I don't think I would even do that. When you create these tags on the Amazon affiliate page or associates page, you can't delete them. They're there forever. And you're limited to 100. So if you're planning on scaling like 500 affiliate sites, you're going to run out of tags. So I would just use the same tag everywhere. That's what I plan on doing. But this isn't my tag. This is just a dummy tag. But you put your tag in here, and this is anytime the Amazon's going to be used. If you're using the ZimmWriter plugin, or you're not using ZimmWriter plugin, you're just using like how it was back in the day, that's the tag that will be used. Now, for whatever reason, maybe you want to override that for a specific job. So you go to Amazon override, you can put a tag in here that will override that one, but it will only override that one if you click this button. So you put the tag in here, you click this button, and then when ZimmWriter writes the article, that tag that you have in there will be associated with this link, with this image, and then the link right here and the image right here. So keep that in mind, that this doesn't do anything, but it's required to make that connection to the Amazon API. Then you choose your Amazon Marketplace. Now, I've only tested this plugin with Amazon.com. I think it will work with the other ones, but I'm not sure. So just figure that one out. there is this option to, let's not talk about this option first. Let's talk about how this works and I'll explain this option. What Amazon does is their API is completely free to use as long as you have access. And I believe everyone, as long as you have access, you get 8,640 API calls a day. Okay. That seems like a lot, but let's assume you have 100 affiliate sites, and each affiliate site has 150 articles on roundup articles on it. And each roundup article is 15 products. You do the math on that one. That's a lot of API hits. You're going to easily go past the 8,000 a day. Now, that 8,640 does go up for every nickel in revenue that's attributed to your associate account. So if you sell $100 in products over the month for the past 30 days, then, you know, what's 100 divided by a nickel? I don't know. It's late. I've had a long day. I'm just going to have my calculator out here and say 100 divided by 0.05 is 2,000. So you get an additional 2,000 API hits a day. Scale that to, you've sold $1,000 in products. That's 20,000 API hits a day. So it's very easy once you start selling a lot, making a lot of, or I guess assisting in a lot of the sales, to easily boost that up. Now, there's other ways to limit the number of API hits to the servers. First of all, we can cache the URL. So what this plugin does is it's going to pull the Amazon image URL. It's all it does. It's not going to build a pretty box. It's not going to do anything aside from just pulling that Amazon image URL. Now it's going to cache that Amazon image URL for 24 hours. That's what's permitted, right? You could cache that for 24 hours. It uses WordPress transients to do that. A really cool feature. And then after 24 hours, the cache will be automatically deleted. And then when someone loads the page, the image will be instantaneously loaded again, because ZimmWriter this plugin will make that call to the Amazon API and refresh those images. Let's talk about more ways that we can stay within, I believe, what's permitted with Amazon and extend the lifespan of that cached URL. Okay. So there's nothing wrong, as far as I'm aware, you'd have to double check with other people on this, caching the actual page. So I have Lightspeed. I love Lightspeed cache. You should definitely find a host that offers this. Lightspeed is a really great plugin, and you can say, I want to cache the page for, let's see here, 67 weeks if you want. You've cached it for over a year, all right? I think that's perfectly acceptable because the page is cached, all right? I think that's acceptable, so you can do that too to reduce the limits of the API hits. But again, if you're selling a lot with Amazon, you don't even have to worry about that. Let's go back into settings and the image plugin. The other thing that you can do if you want to is you can enable this. It's a backup cache. And if for whatever reason ZimmWriter tries to hit the API and oops, you're out of hits, you're out of requests for the day, then ZimmWriter will use a backup cache. So it's technically not, let's just say it's not terms of service compliant. Is anyone going to know? I don't know. So this is on you if you want to enable this or not, but it will do that. And then for whatever reason, you can clear the transient cache, the cache of all the URLs if you want to. And let's see, you can view the log of all the times ZimmWriter, this ZimmWriter plugin is making a call to the Amazon API. It's cool to see. And then usually there's a queue and stuff like that, which you'll probably never get into because, again, the limits from Amazon are pretty generous. I'm trying to think what else is in here. And then when you first add all your stuff, you save your changes, you can come down here and test the connection. And you'll see right here if everything's working right or you put in the wrong information. If I click right now, see we got wrong stuff in here. So let's put something in here. And then -20, save changes. So, but see, it saved it, but it doesn't test it. So now let's test this out. Oops, where is it? Test connection. No, it's all wrong. Okay. Yeah, so that's not good. So you want to figure out, you want to add all this stuff, you want to test it, make sure it all works, and then you're pretty good to go. Now, this is what ZimmWriter will do. ZimmWriter, when you enable this option over here for ZW, ZimmWriter will make the image tag. Let's actually just go and edit this and I'll show you. I'll show you what it does. Where'd it go? Let me copy this out and put this into Notepad and show you. All right, I don't know if you can see this. Oh, you know, I'm using AFFI on here, but I can explain the same thing. I use the AFFI plugin to let's go back to the post, to generate these things, but it's the same process. It's the same thing. So what ZimmWriter will do is basically it will inject this tag right here, this shortcode tag. And then as this is processed, as your article is processed, that shortcode will get turned into the actual link. So that's what this does. This basically just returns the URL for the stuff. So that's kind of how it works. What's awesome is there's no limit. I plan on having hundreds of affiliate sites, so I don't have to pay for a license to AFFI or AWP. Those are great plugins. Those are great plugins. A lot of people don't use ZimmWriter, and those plugins do a lot of things that we can't do right now. But with black tie, I don't need anything else. I'm building what I want. I think all you need is black tie mode. Let me look at what else I had to talk about in this video. And I'm not making this video short. Sometimes when you're making videos, you want to appease the YouTube algorithm gods. I'm not interested in doing that right now. I just want to walk through this in a very detailed manner and give you lots of value. And if you're bored, you can turn the video off and then you'll come asking on Facebook, how do I do this? And I'll be like, you didn't watch the video. All right. So yeah, I think that wraps up kind of black tie mode and what it does. This update that I'm going to push out, it's going to be 8.5.9. It does fix, I think in the black tie mode, I had some faulty HTML. So this fixes that. And then if for whatever reason you decided not to use the black tie mode and you went over here and disabled the call to action, you get like the word false up here. So I've nipped that in the bud too. So those are two bug fixes. Now, there are some other neat things that have been added into this patch. So now there's two options here to disable the year from the title in the product roundup, and then also the product number from the title. So a title right here is 12 best men's colognes for 2026. Removing the number would remove this. And it's not just like a replace. It doesn't just replace this and now it just says best men's colognes. There's also a whole nother prompt that I send to the AI to come up with the title. And then you can also remove the year. And again, it's a whole nother prompt that I'll send to the AI. I've looked at a lot of this stuff, and honestly, the number and the year, I think makes it pop. It really does. Which a lot of people don't like the year because then they have to update this every year, but not anymore. There's another feature inside of the product roundup called shortcode year in title and intro. This is awesome. This is absolutely awesome. If you stuck around for this video up until now, you're going to love this. So there are plugins out there that will replace, if you put in a shortcode like this, a bracket and then year and then an end bracket, it will replace that with the actual year. So in 2025, it will say 2025. In 2026, it will say 2026. But why do we need a plugin to do that when we can just do that ourselves with AI? So here is what I had the AI code, really simple. You simply put this into your functions.php file for your theme. But the caveat is you need to be running a child theme. A lot of themes have child themes available, and you could probably even just go to ChatGPT and have it code you a child theme. But you need a child theme installed. So we go to, let's see, Appearance Themes. Now, I don't have my Blocksy child theme installed, but if I had the child theme, and the reason you have to do this in the child theme is because when you update this theme, update a main theme, not a child, the main theme will it will erase anything that you've done in the functions.php file, okay? That's why you want to do this in a child theme. But you'll go to the theme editor down here. You won't see all this stuff in a child theme. All right, basically all you'll see in the child theme is style.css and functions.php. That's it. So you'll click on your functions.php file, and it should be empty or fairly empty. And then you just come down here and paste. I'll put this on the screen so you guys can see it. Paste this in here. But here, I'll just let that. You could copy this, take a screenshot of it, then have ChatGPT OCR this for you. But what this will do, all right, is if you put in year, uppercase year, I think you got to do uppercase with brackets, all right, ZimmWriter will replace that in the title and then also in your content. Now, this is going to be something that like you're never really going to have naturally as the content's being written. So this is pretty safe in my opinion to use as a shortcode. And And basically, yeah, like I didn't use it for writing these articles, but basically this will say 2025, and then come January 1st, it's going to say 2026 all automatically. Now, you actually might have to refresh your cache if you're doing like the light speed cache for like 67 weeks of cache. You might have to refresh your cache, but other than that, it will work. And so it does it here, and then sometimes I've noticed when ZimmWriter writes, it will insert the year in here also, and so it will replace that. Now, ZimmWriter as it's writing, let's go back to here. As it's writing, it's going to use this year as a shortcode for here in the intro, but it's not going to use it anywhere else. So if by chance you get the word 2026 somewhere else or 2025 somewhere else, I'm not messing with stuff inside of here because there might be times when that's relevant. Okay, so ZimmWriter is only going to create the article with the shortcode for the title and then also the intro. Extremely powerful now that this is completely automated. You don't have to go back to 100 affiliate sites and then change the year anymore. So that's crazy powerful. Let's see if there's anything else in here. No, I think that's about it. Now, let me drop a little value nugget right now. I have been Open Router. I have been dialing in all the settings for my affiliate sites, and I'm really happy with where I'm at. I'm using Claude Haiku 4.5 to write the actual roundup, but then I'm using Qwen. Is that how you say it? Qwen. Let me go over here and show you. Qwen. This one right here. Qwen 3, 235B, A22B, Instruct 2507. So you'll click the copy button right there, and you'll go into ZimmWriter. I don't want to show you this because I got all my API keys in here. But you go into the text API key section, and you'll add it to the Open Router User Choice 1. And then inside of ZimmWriter, right, you can select it, right, Open Router User Choice 1. I've done, I guess this is not going to work because, oh, maybe I have something in there. I don't know what I have in there right now, but I don't have this Qwen in this particular install of ZimmWriter. But I have compared, so I want to do this cheap. I want hundreds of affiliate sites, but I want to do this cheap. I have tested 4.1 mini, 4.1 nano, 5 mini, 5 nano. I've tested everything. And honestly, Qwen 3 is the cheapest model out of all of those. It's cheaper than all of those, and it's much more powerful. But, and I'll give you another nugget of wisdom right here based on what I've found, you're going to want to create a style mimic, and you're going to want to possibly apply a custom prompt also to clean things up. Sometimes I've noticed that the output is, for whatever reason, it's not capitalized. So there could be, like, let's go down here. I don't think I did skinny paragraphs on here, but you could have a couple lines in here and they might not be capitalized. Like the first word might not be capitalized. So there's some cleanup that I found that I need to do with the custom prompt, but I've been using Qwen and it's amazing. My articles, my info articles, they're a penny each. It's absolutely insane. So I'm using that. And then for my images, I'm using Z Image Turbo. So yeah, that's the nuggets. That's what I'll share. I don't want to share anything else, but I'm excited for 2026. Big plans. I hope you have big plans too. Hey, if you like this update, drop a comment down below. If you got any questions, drop a comment. Join the Facebook group. Take advantage of my free prompting course. Let me jump back and I'll show you real quick. Getprompted.ai. You got to check this out. If you have not, completely free 33 lesson prompting course in here. Lots of nuggets. Honest to God, these are good techniques in here. Completely free. And the free GPTs, these are amazing. People have been raving about the buyer persona one. Like this is absolute gold if you are trying to figure out who your target audience is and build a persona for them. This is absolute gold. That's all I got. Hey, if I don't talk to you again, I think this might be the last video until Christmas. If I don't talk to you again, have a good holiday. Have a good holiday and spend time with your family and your friends. It's much more important than all this stuff, right? But until next time, good luck with your content generation. And I'll talk to you later.